video all about how to save money, and I have 10 tips for you guys that are hopefully going to help you out in regards to saving money. So the main reason I'm doing this video is to address all of the questions I get asked about how I afford everything that I do, how I live out of home, because I am financially independent from my parents. I live out of home, I pay all my own bills, everything like that. I pay everything myself. So I kind of understand why I do get a lot of questions on that, because it's not cheap to live out of home. I mean, there's rent, there's petrol, bills, electricity, water, everything like that. So I kind of understand that. But the main thing that comes down to is I manage my money well and I save my money. So this is my sort of video explaining how I do manage to do all that, because I still have money left over to go shopping and to buy the things that I want, like makeup, and that's because I save my money. So this is why I'm doing this video. Hopefully it helps you guys out, because I get so many questions on it. So hopefully this will help you guys be able to do that as well. The other thing I want to say before I get into my 10 tips is that this video can apply to anyone. Because even if you don't have something specific that you're trying to save your money for, I believe that everyone should be saving their money for no reason, like just to save their money, because we as consumers are always wanting new things, and I am sure that you'll be happy that you saved up that money when a new makeup collection comes out that you never even thought of, and you were saving before it even came out, so you'd be able to get something from that. Or just things pop up all the time that we want or need, even like if your laptop breaks or something, or if your car crashes and you need to get serviced and fixed. So I think that this video should apply to anyone, because everyone should be saving in some way. So my first tip is probably the biggest one, but it's really simple as well, but it's like the most helpful, and that is to have 2 bank accounts, one for saving and one for spending, just so you can sort of manage your money in that way, split it up so that you can understand and physically see the amount that you're allowed to spend, and then also the amount that you've saved up. And ideally you'll have more in your savings than in your spendings, because you will spend more. So that leads me into my next tip, which is to split up your money when you get it. So for example, when you get paid, split up your money, put some into your savings and then some into your spending. So automatically do that. So if it gets transferred into, say, like your savings account, then transfer a cut out of that into your savings, or vice versa. That's exactly what I do. For example, when I get paid, I do a 60-40 split, so I save 60% of it and I put 40% of it into my spendings. So 60% goes into savings and 40% goes into spendings, if that makes any sense. So for example, just $100 as the easiest example, $60 would go into your savings and $40 would go into your spending account. And so your savings account, you can't touch that money unless like you've saved up enough for what you wanted to buy. And then in your spendings, that's sort of money you can go out, buy makeup, pay bills, just whatever you want to, go out to dinner, stuff like that. So you can kind of split up your money that way to see how much you can spend and how much you're saving. Tip number 3 is to keep track of your finances, and it's so easy to do these days. There's many ways that you could go about it. So the easiest way that I've found, and this is what I do, is that I just use the app on my phone, because I'm with ANZ, so ANZ has an app, and you can see all of your transaction history. You can see what you're spending your money on. You can transfer your money in between accounts, and I just think it's so simple. You can totally keep track of what you've spent and your transactions and everything like that in one little place, or you could just go old school and write it in a book or something. But I just think that this is so important, because you'll be able to see where your money's going, and you'll also be able to see if you're overspending on something and if you're able to cut back on things and save money that way. So it's definitely great to monitor how you're spending your money, how much you're earning, sort of just keeping up to date with your finances. Tip number 4 is actually really fun, well, in my opinion anyway, and it is to save your change. So to save all of your loose change that floats around and somehow we collect, and to keep that, you can do it in many ways. personal preference really. You can chuck it in like a box, or you can use a piggy bank, or you can put it all in your like car's center console, which is kind of what I do as well. But my favorite way is to put it in my little piggy bank. This is like an actual piggy bank, and I just put my change in here. So as you can hear, and I just think this is an amazing way of just earning extra money. Really, change feels so insignificant, like 20 cents really means nothing to us these days. So it's kind of like once you put all of those 20-cent coins together, you can have $30 before you know it, and then you can go out and buy a new lipstick or whatever you want to do with that money that you otherwise would have found ways to use it. Or if you kept it in your wallet, you'd probably go into a Macca's drive-thru and spend it or something like that. I'm sure you know what I mean. If I have change, I somehow spend it on like sushi or like just whatever. Honestly, if I don't have the change on me, then I'm much less likely to spend it. So I like to keep it all in a little piggy bank as soon as I get it, and before you know it, you will have earned like $20, $30 that you never thought that you had. And it's just such an easy way of collecting money. And that sort of leads me on to tip number 5, which is not to keep money in your wallet. So it's the same sort of principle. If I have change in my wallet, I'll spend it. I don't carry cash with me that often. Sometimes it's annoying because some places only take cash, but it's also good because you don't spend the money. But I find that if I don't carry the cash around with me, I don't spend money because I just don't have it on me. So I do carry my ATM card, of course, but I feel like a lot of places require only change, and you're much less likely to spend that money if it's in card form. Because I mean, if you look in your wallet and you have like $20, you're like, oh, I'll spend it. But if you don't have that on you, you probably wouldn't have spent it. I've heard a lot of people say the opposite, that if you take your money to the shops instead of your card, then you'll spend less because you'll only spend the money in your wallet. But I think for everyday sort of meaning, you sort of don't keep money in your wallet, just because you will find insignificant little things to waste it on. And now moving on to some pretty simple and basic ones for the last 4. And number 6 is to not spend money on food as much, because I know that's like a daily necessity is food, but you can save so much money by taking your lunch to uni or work instead of buying it, or just making dinners instead of going out for dinner, because it really does add up, and food is pretty expensive these days, especially if you want quality food. I mean, Macca's, that's pretty cheap, go for it. But I mean, well, don't go for it because it's bad for your health. But I mean, like, food is expensive, so it all adds up. If you are going to buy lunch when you're out, that's like $15 wasted that you could have just gone home and made a meal, or meal prepped and brought a meal with you. I know uni food is crazy expensive. I pay like $6 for a salad when I forget to bring my lunch, or if I've been unprepared and haven't meal prepped. I will link my meal prepping video around the screen and below, because that's sort of like a great tip. It sort of ties into meal prepping, is to just meal prep your food so you don't have to buy it, because that saves you so much money. Like, honestly, if I were to buy lunch every day at uni, I'd be wasting like easily $50 a week on food. So it's just like you can just save money that way. Tip number 7 is to invest in nice things. And you might be thinking, what, you're wanting me to spend more money? And that's just because I'm a huge believer in quality over quantity. I think that if you invest in really nice things that are going to last you a really long time, you save money in the bigger picture and the larger scheme of things. Because, for example, take a GHD. If you were to buy a cheap hair straightener for $50 that breaks after 6 months, and then within 2 years you spent like $200, it's much better off for you to buy a $250 GHD that will last you years and years, like probably like 5 or 6 years. And I'm not being sponsored by GHD. I have worked with them in the past, but this is not a sponsored video, so that's just an example. But another example would be like, for example, you buy a really old used car that's like 6 to 10 years old just because it's cheap, and then it breaks down and you have to constantly pay for maintenance and repairs. In the long run, you're probably better off just buying a newer car, if not a new car. I know people say that you lose $5,000 when you drive out of the dealership, but you can get some really good deals at dealerships that will make it pretty much the same price as if you wanted like a 1-year-old used car. So I'm a big believer in buying things new And I know a lot of people aren't like that, but I believe in buying things new and also buying quality things over quantity things. So buying the more extravagant and luxury and good quality versions of things and having to buy them less often than crappy versions, if that makes sense. Hopefully my 2 examples made sense. Number 8 is to keep yourself motivated with goals and treats. So keep yourself motivated by sort of having an image in mind of your head of like how much you want to save, and then once you save that amount, treat yourself to something like maybe that thing that you have been saving up for, then you can buy it, or like something to sort of motivate you. I think really helps to save, because sometimes you might be like, oh, what's the point in saving? I'll just buy this thing rather than save it. But you've got to sort of keep yourself on track and focus and be like, no, I'm saving for that computer that I want or something like that. So I think that really helps, sort of keeping focused and maintaining concentration on your goals. So number 9 is sort of a serious one, and it is to not borrow money of other people. And this means like your parents or your friends. Sometimes if you're really desperate, I guess you can, if you really need to like repair your car or something and you need to borrow like $1,000 off your mom or something, maybe that's okay, but I'm talking mainly credit cards. Do not get yourself in debt. Owing money is never worth buying that thing that you want. So never spend money that you don't have. Don't spend money that isn't yours, because usually with credit cards there's an interest attached to that. With your mom, if you owe her money, it might be stressed to have to pay her back. It's just, don't spend money you don't have. If you want something, then save up the money and then buy it. Don't borrow money of other people, have to pay interest or stress out about paying them back. And my last tip number 10, is to shop around. If you can find something at a cheaper price, then definitely look around, go find that cheaper price. Online shopping is amazing. If you're Australian, everything is so overpriced. So for example, Priceline with the Real Techniques brushes. If you want Real Techniques brushes, don't go pay $50 at Priceline, go pay $15 at iHerb.com. And I'll put my discount code below, because you do get $10 off your first order, which is crazy. And then you also get $4 shipping. So I just believe that if you can get something cheaper, look around. Don't just impulse buy. Like, think about your purchase, see if you can get it cheap somewhere else. Like, online is such a money saver. Online shopping is crazy in saving you money. I love it so much, especially with cosmetics, because we are overcharged so much here in Australia. So oftentimes you'll find that you can get everything like 10 times cheaper online. So I just checked my face in the viewfinder and saw that I had lipstick all over my face and teeth. So that's great and really embarrassing. So hopefully you guys didn't notice too much. I had like lipstick here and like lipstick on my teeth. So that's very attractive, isn't it? What can I say? I'm a very embarrassing person. So hopefully you guys didn't notice it too much, and I can't be bothered refilming all that I said, because yeah, who could be bothered doing that? So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you found these tips helpful and didn't notice the lipstick all over my face. And yeah, so let me know in the comments below if you guys have any more tips for saving money, because I am always up for learning new ways of saving money. I mean, who doesn't want to save money? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed.